Thanks for downloading this episode of the Nerdball Podcast. I'm your host, Lorenzo Melcher. As you can see, the video is in person. In-person videos are back as long as I can continue to reserve the space that I am in. So we'll see how it goes. I really enjoyed this first podcast that's you're about to see right now. It was a good time. It was cool to get in this setup again and get in a groove of plugging and unplugging all my junk. But it's fun. It was fun, and like I said, I think the look is better when it's in person, obviously, than just a Zoom computer screen. But anyway, as always, thanks to all of you for downloading, liking, sharing, subscribing to the podcast. Can't grow without people growing it and watering it and feeding it. So continue to do that wherever pods are cast. Watch. Or you can watch it or wherever. Just make sure you're subscribing, downloading, all that stuff. Leave a comment on our social media. Search the Nerdball Podcast if you want to be on the podcast, or have an email. The nerdballpodcast@gmail.com is where you go for that. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. So again, I hope you enjoy these in-person videos. Let me know what you think, and enjoy this episode.
I'm Josh Takats.
I'm Brady and Maxwell,
and this is the Nerdball Podcast.
This is the Nerdball Podcast with Lorenzo Melcher.
Awesome. Well, thanks both of you for coming on the podcast today. Josh, I think I had seen you earlier in the week, and you're like, I'm ready. I want to come on the podcast. So it just so happens that I have a new place where I get the podcast in person. It makes the videos longer to edit, but I feel like you guys like it a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brady, you were talking about how you listened to the podcast, and you asked me what my favorite episode was, but I got to look through them. What about you? What did you like?
I really like Mrs. Dirt episode. That was a good one. I'm trying to think.
She's really good. I had her as a teacher, but she was a high school teacher when I was in high school here, but I like her.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah. Mr. Bucher's coming on after you guys.
I like Mr. Bucher's. So, He has 2 episodes, right?
I think he has 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm going to do this thing where, I don't know if you guys watch Saturday Night Live, but they do a 5 timers club.
Oh, okay.
They give them like these robes and stuff. So I want to find like a t-shirt or something to give. Cause I think I have 3 people that have been on 5 times. Coach Marshall would have been on 5 times, but I had to get rid of one of his episodes. It was published for about 7 seconds, and then I had to take it down.
Took it back
for a lot of reasons, but I always ask my guests, and you guys listened. What is something you've been nerding out about lately? Something you're really into? It can't. You guys don't work, do you? You guys don't have jobs? So we'll disregard that part, but it can't be about football. Okay. Because that football season is now, and I know that's what it's going to be. So Josh, go first. What is something you're really into right now?
So if it can't be football, then I don't know. But I've been really nerding out about the new college football game, the video game. Mm-hmm. So I made yesterday. I spent like 4 hours on it. I made our team.
Oh, really?
On college football 2025. I got the uniforms like perfectly right, and I got like everything, all of our players. It doesn't let you put the names down. Like I can't make number 5 Josh Takats, but
really?
I can make number 5 a 6'2" white kid that weighs 205 pounds.
They look pretty close. Like Dominic Woods, he looks like identical. Yeah, like it's crazy.
So you had to go through it and like craft each one of these players.
And I can make all their attributes. I made everybody like really good. But yeah, I can make like Joseph Cini's a 99 everything.
Okay.
And it just can't be called Joseph Cini.
Why? So they have. I mean, that's something new in this game. They have names. So why can't you put names on these?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I just won't let you.
I think the team builder's pretty new. It may just be the beta right now. I'm not even sure though.
That's what's crazy about video games too. Is I mean, I last played college football in 2014 when the last one. I had it on my 360. And like now, games can actively be still getting worked on or bugs or whatever because everything's downloadable. Mm-hmm. Back then, he was like, "Here's a disc, and this is the game, and it is what it is. If something's broken, something's broken." You know?
Yeah, like Fortnite would have like an update like every week, changing bugs like that. That was the first time that I ever like seen a video game like do that.
I just like, hey, we're gonna be out for a couple hours. We're fixing some things or whatever. And I followed one day. I think it was when they changed seasons and they went back to like the first.
What
what do they call it? One of the first seasons, and it was like a whole day late, and people were going crazy.
Yeah.
So I hit that little bell on the Twitter account so I could get notifications on like, hey, when it's back or whatever. But I never did it, like took it off, and every day. Oh, we are fixing this bug. Oh, we fixed this bug. Oh, we're doing this. Like I was like, man, I can't imagine like all these little things that they have to go through. So you created the entire Perrysburg Yellow Jackets team. What conference did you put them in, or have you played any games with them yet?
I play now. That I haven't put them in a conference because I haven't started like the dynasty yet.
Okay,
but I'm still like working on like trying to get like some of the younger kids in the game.
Okay,
like, I got Brady in, but he's the only underclassman that I really got. I'm trying to get some more juniors and some more sophomores in the game.
I played against Michigan with the Perrysburg team. I got smoked.
The uniforms are what's really like cool because I went in Photoshop and I made like our logo like off of our helmet so I could put it on the helmet.
Really?
Yeah, like
He made the jersey sweet.
No kidding. You're gonna have to show me a picture.
Yeah, I got a couple pictures of Dominic on my phone, and we can show you after.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's very time consuming.
I think Coach Allen loved it more than anyone else.
Oh,
I
I'm
showed
sure.
him last night at the pool, and
Did you?
he loved it. Yeah,
He was like, dude, I just got started with Road to Glory. I can't even. He was like, I don't have time for that.
Dude, I played my first game last night. Mateo had the Xbox. He was in South Bend with his sister at a baton competition, so he had the Xbox all week. So I finally got to play yesterday, and he's like, "You want to play?" And he was Oregon, and I was Texas, but he's like, "This is no fair. You're a coach. You know what's like." I was like, "It doesn't matter." But what I learned is like he just likes to throw deep all the time. So I'm like, "All right, I'm just gonna stay in nickel and cover everybody." And he was getting mad. He ended up beating me, but I was like, "Dude, I haven't even played that. Let me play a little bit, and then I'll kick your ass."
That's pretty awesome. That game's sweet.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The graphics are insane.
Yeah, it's really cool, and like I said, last night was my first time, so it was awesome to play. Oh, do you get to make a stadium too?
Yeah, so I started out with the Purdue Stadium, but I made the field like our field, so it has like the big B in the middle.
All right.
But like some of like you can't really like design like the like crowd
Stands
so
or
I just
anything?
made
Okay.
it like the closest thing. So it looks really cool. It looks like Perrysburg. I could change the name to Steinecker. So we play in Steinecker Stadium.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's like I said, that seems like a lot of your time.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing in there?
No, me and Brady, because Brady started out, he was trying to do it at first, and we probably sat on call because we played for a couple of hours, like played each other with college teams, and then we decided to build it, and we were working on it like together, so that was fun.
Do you guys? Because I know with most teams, obviously the quarterback is the most important position, and sometimes a kid could say, "Hey, I should be starting over this kid." How have you guys developed such a like really good relationship? Because I mean, just based on this little conversation, right? And then when I asked Josh, like, "Hey, you got to bring someone," and he mentioned you immediately. So like, how'd this begin, and how is it just like built?
It's been awesome. Ever since 8th grade, he's been helping me. Ever since the 8th grade camp, we became best friends over meetings, just him helping me, wanting me to be the best quarterback that I can be. And there's never been really any there's competitiveness during like drills, but no, I'm going to start over you, or just learning from him. It's been great.
You guys talk shit to each other? I mean, you can.
We'll do like a point system, like perfect ball is 3 points, and we'll just like do little mini games. But
Okay.
not a lot of
Yeah.
smack talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to smack talk more than I do. I don't like. I mean, I just throw a football and I just call it a day. Like
Sure.
I don't really talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he like I mean, it's been no secret that after I graduate, Brady Maxwell is going to be our starter. So I just thought like help him out as much as I can because I'm a quarterback that has learned a lot throughout high school, and I'm experienced for a high school quarterback. So I thought it would be, just help him out because he's a super raw athlete and he's not as fine tuned as he can be yet. So just trying to help him out while I'm still growing as a quarterback myself.
Because a lot of that a relationship like this falls on the older player.
Yeah.
Because Josh, can just be like, well, yes, we're in drills. We don't have to be friends together. Yeah, you're going to be next, whatever. I'm going to concentrate on me. So it is a lot on you to be like, hey, I'm going to take this extra time and extra effort, to make him better because ultimately that helps your school.
Yep.
For sure.
Was there ever a time where it's like, man, like I'm sure you guys are kids, and I've done that with my friends. Where like I just need a break from you for a little bit right now. Like,
I mean, we're together a lot.
yeah, are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's me and Brady. We're probably the closest. He's probably the closest friend that I have on the team, and we hang out with Chase Conger a lot.
Okay,
So that's kind of like the trio that we hang out with.
that dude's wild too.
Yeah, he's so fun. He's so fun to be around.
I met him for the first time at I think our first 7-on-7.
Yeah.
And I got chit-chatted with him for a little bit. He's friends with Schroeder, so we were talking, all talking. And then afterward, I pull him aside. I go, hey, man, I know I just met you. I don't know anything about you, but I feel like I'm going to like you. And you're a real good dude. He told me, he was like, I knew when you were messing around with Schroeder, I knew it was going to be all right. I said, okay.
He's
Yeah,
really outgoing, just good with everybody. He's a great guy.
I'm so excited that he came out this year. He played our freshman year, so he played freshman football.
Okay.
And he played 7th and 8th grade, but then like after that, he decided that it wasn't for him, and he came back to it this year. You know, I tried to talk him into it, and then he finally got in, and then he came to the lifting, and he's really big on lifting. Like if you ever see him in the weight room, he throws up really big numbers, and obviously he's a muscular kid, but
He moves really good out there.
yeah,
He's doing
does.
great. He's doing really good.
I know that same night when I met him, Coach Connor said, like, he might be able to do something for us. And I told Chase, I go, hey, I don't know what you're doing. Like, but this is what he said. He's not just going to make it up.
Yeah.
Like, he means it. So whether it's starting on all special teams or getting a couple carries a game
Right.
or whatever. You
Yeah.
know.
When he decides that he's going to try really hard at something, he does a really well job with it, and he actually is a super hard worker. And it's So
I haven't seen him miss a lift or anything. I haven't seen him miss anything.
Yeah.
And just came back for his senior year. So he's really dedicated to it.
And it's always, I talked to a few kids who decide, like Matt Hubbard last year.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, you're just deciding, to come out. And it is, obviously, I love it when anybody comes out from football, but for someone to, like, miss, like, either their entire high school career or parts of it and then decide, like, hey, I mean, for me, I feel like that's like 90%, hey, I just want to play with my friends.
Yeah.
And then 10% football. I don't know who talked him into it or if it was a bunch of people or how that went down. But.
And I think Perrysburg has gotten super lucky with that because the year before was the Hunts because they didn't play a whole lot. They were on and off, and then they came out and it's cool how some of these seniors come out their senior year and really enjoy it because it's a really good experience for them. And Matt Hubbard, obviously probably could have been a Division I scholarship player if he would have played all throughout high school, but last year he was really good.
Yeah, and those are when we continue to get better year after year and classes of 50 roll through, and those are the kinds of kids we'll need to like, hey, can we have all seniors on this kickoff team when maybe only one or two are starters on something else?
Yeah.
So, like we got to be able to do that kind of stuff, and bringing in kids like Chase, or hopefully we can start bringing kids in their junior year, or if they don't play junior high and they bring them in that year after that. So like. It's constant recruiting, not only by us, but by all you guys too. Like,
Yeah.
Coach Connor asked you guys at the end of the year, who should I be talking to get out here play? And by now everyone knows, like, all right, I need to have people in mind. Brady, I asked Josh, but what about you? What's something you've been into?
I've been into the study of sleep a lot, just like deep sleep and finding ways to just get the best rest I can. To be honest, I just got these glasses to help out and stuff.
Does that help you sleep?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
I need
so we had the team pool party last night, so
Yeah.
it went to 11, and me and Chase and Brady wanted to go to Chase's house, spend the night, and just play my college football team.
Yeah.
And we walk out, and this dude's wearing glasses, and we're like, Brady, why are you wearing glasses? He's like, I don't want the blue light to affect my sleep.
Oh, it's those kind of okay.
And I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, I feel like it helps. Like I have to.
Well, even some of those stuff, even it's just a placebo effect, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't do anything actually, but it helps you. Like
Mentally, yeah.
Like I go to a chiropractor every 2 weeks, and I don't know if does something 100% of the time, but I just know I feel better.
Right.
So I can't walking out with these glasses, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I came into my house and my glasses get made fun of.
So Brady, do you sleep a lot? Like, do your parents get concerned?
No, not at all, really. I mean, since with waking up for football and stuff, that's the time I usually sleep, and I'm not a big nap guy. I can't really fall asleep in the middle of the day. So, but no, I sleep about 7 hours every day.
Yeah. Man, my kids like to wake up early. Actually, Mateo slept in, but I think they were driving back from South Bend yesterday, so they were all pretty tired. But Mateo comes lumbering down the stairs today, probably about 8. Yeah, probably about 8 o'clock. Usually he's up at like 6:30.
Yeah.
Even on the weekends. But
On an off day, I'll sleep in a little bit, but
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
no, I don't know. I think eventually he'll be like all of you, where he's just growing and
Yeah.
he'll need sleep.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I sleep like way too much.
You look sleepy
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I'm always sleepy.
Do you have to set an alarm to get here today?
Well, we
We
just
were
together.
up.
We were together.
Oh,
Like, we
that's
were
right,
at
okay.
Chase's, so
Okay.
but like, I'll go to bed at 8:30, and then I wake up early for football, and then I like waking up early, but then I'll do what I have to do, come home, and then sleep,
Take a
and
nap.
then yeah,
Dude, there's nothing better, especially now. Like I'll go out, mow the yard, and do some other stuff, and then just like watching TV or watching a baseball game or something, and just slowly fall asleep and take a nap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Especially we keep our house pretty cold, so it's nice.
that's
too.
nice.
Even in the
Yeah.
summer, we can use a blanket. Dude, I go over to my in-laws' house. I don't know what you guys keep it at your house, but my in-laws keep it at 74.
Yeah, my grandparents are like
Yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
so bad. It's
So
like a
I-
sauna.
I go over there, and the first thing I always do is turn it down. Like, no one sees me, I turn it down. And my wife, I was like, you're probably starting to fight at the end of the night. They're probably arguing with each
Who
other.
turned it up?
I was like, I don't know, but I was comfortable the couple hours I was there. I'll tell you that.
That's exactly how it is at my dad's house. He'll always go over there and turn it down to like 68 because it's at like 74 in the summertime. And it's
Yeah.
like, can't get away from the heat.
No. So we wrapped up summer football. Got a week off. Are you guys doing anything with your week off, or just hanging out?
Just hanging out. Probably get some working at the
Yeah.
field, but definitely relaxing.
yeah. I'll be training at Fitness for All, and then training at the field, and just kind of prepare myself for the long stretch of football that we have, which is it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this year. I think our team's looking just as good or better than it has as long as I've been at Perrysburg.
Sure.
So I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's always exciting for a new year. I know everyone always asks me, like, how you guys going to do? I was like, well, it's always going to come down to, can we beat Whitmer, Finley, and Anthony Wayne?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like for us, I don't know how you feel, but for me, it's no longer like, are we going to make the playoffs? Because we're going to make the playoffs.
Right.
Unless we go 0-10,
Yeah.
it's a foregone conclusion just because of our region. But like these big games, do you feel any different, or do you prepare any different than like, hey, we're playing Anthony Wayne, Finley, or Whitmer, or we're playing, somebody else that's not them? Josh, how do you
So,
feel?
like, I mean, the preparation that goes into those teams is just it is just harder than some of like the smaller schools because they do more with their defenses. They have some players that are more athletic, and so you have to prepare a little bit more. But the way you do things and the effort that you give doesn't change. Whether it's week 1, week 2, whether you're playing Clay, Northview, Finley, it doesn't matter. Like, I still watch the same amount of film. I still go just as hard at practice. So it matters, but it doesn't. Obviously, some of those games, like Whitmer the second time, it just did have a little bit more to it. It had a little bit more anger just because we lost to him. But, yeah, so same effort, but, it's going to mean a little more sometimes.
Yeah. And Brady, what about you? You're a little different because you're not the starting quarterback. Remains to be seen where you're going to be at some point. But like going into this season, like what are you expecting, or are you just like following along? But like, if this is how this person does it, this is what I'm going to do. Like, what is your mindset?
Yeah, obviously I'm looking at those guys. Like, say I'm going to play receiver. I'm watching Dominic Woods, like what he does, trying to model my game after him. And on defense at corner, I'll look at Ian will help me out, just stuff like that. But I'm ready to play wherever I need to play to help the team out, and I'm gonna be prepared to be thrown in the game at any time, anywhere. So
That's always a good mindset to have. I think people ask, and I've coached kids where like, hey, it's not going to work out at X position, whatever position, but we think you can get playing time at this position.
Yeah.
More times than not, like the kids will say, yeah,
Yeah.
because they want to play. Sometimes they won't, and you're like, okay, well, this is where you're going to be, and you might not see the field. So it's good to know, like, hey, I got all these options open, and this is what I'm going to do. Like Beckett all summer was everywhere.
Yeah.
And he ended up with tight ends, and he's doing a really good job. This past this camp week, But again, that's another one where he's like, hey, his face stayed the same, and he's like, all right, you're going over here today, or you're going with this group, or you're going with that group, and
yeah, he just played quarterback for the JV last week on 7-on-7 against Central. Yeah.
Yeah, he's also a great kid that doesn't get enough respect, like just between like people talking about him. Yeah, like, he's such a good athlete, and even in like wrestling, like he has so much potential because obviously I wrestle and he was my drill partner all year and he was my practice partner, and there would be points in time where I was like, dude, like this kid is really good, like he's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
And I think with Perrysburg wrestling, like you don't get to see like the kids being developed like that, where they're not like in the lineup like their freshman or sophomore year, because those are the kids that more get focused on. But like when that kid this year and next year gets in our lineup, he's going to be really good, and it's going to be exciting.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have, but I have never seen him smile, and I've never seen him like be angry. He's always just like in the middle.
When you get close with him, he's actually like he smiles a lot and he's hilarious.
Does he?
He is so funny. Yeah.
Well, if he stays with me, I look forward to that because I like every year brings on new kids that I got to coach and trying to figure them out. And some people I figure out real quick, like or are like super open, like Schroeder. Like Schroeder's just a goofball, and he's he's really open and outgoing, and other kids takes a little bit of time, but my job is to find out. For me personally, I want to develop as best relationship as possible. Like if you guys, when you guys are done with college or done with high school, and you invite me to your graduation party, but I never see you again, fine. That's what happened. But I know we're cool, Or if you come back from wherever you guys are at on a break and you call me up or say, hey, can I come on the podcast again or whatever? Like whatever relationship that you guys want to be with me, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And if some people are like, hey, just coach me, hey, I'll just coach you, and I'll be happy with that too. So, but that's my favorite part, is just developing relationships.
Yep.
Because it's fun, and some of my really good friends now, even when I played football, they were my teammates, and I still hang out with them.
Speaking of that, our team chemistry this year is awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Everybody gets along. The locker room's a great time. Just joking. It's awesome. I think we should be really solid this year.
That obviously that goes a long way. Like if there's turmoil in the locker room, then it's gonna bleed out into the field a little bit. What are your like team expectations? Everyone says, you guys always say, hey, we're gonna be good. But what do you like in your mind? Brady, we'll go with you first. Like, what do you expect from us for this season?
I'm thinking undefeated, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can win those big games that may have slipped up last year. I think we're deeper in some spots that we need to be deeper in, and I think a couple of those teams lost a couple guys, and I think we should be we have a good chance to do it. So I think that's it. Yeah.
Josh?
Yeah, so more or less the same. I'm excited for this team. We're super experienced. Last year, we were with all of the teams that, like, I mean, we didn't have like a blowout game all year, but a lot of like the reasons why we lost were inexperience. So I think it's not a lofty goal to say that we can be 10-0 and compete for a state title. I think the new region helps us out, but yeah, so it's 10-0 and then go in the playoffs and compete, to win it all, because, if you want to win our region, the region that we're in now, then if you win that region, you're probably the number one team in the state.
Yeah. Did you guys, I know you probably did, Josh, but did you grow up, like, as you're a little kid, like, going to Perrysburg games, football games?
Yeah. So I did, but I went to Lake for a long time. Okay. So I went to Lake, and then I also did watch Perrysburg because I was kind of like a fanatic. But
sure.
Yeah, so Lake was really good at the time that I went there. So like when I was growing up, they're pretty good. They had their quarterback's name's Jared Reddick. He was really good. He wore number 5, and he came out to like our first game last year, and that was super cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When did you come to Perrysburg?
So I came middle of 6th grade. Okay. So right. I always lived in Perrysburg. I lived in Horseshoe Bend, but I just wrestled with Perrysburg, and then I just decided that, hey, Mom, because my mom works at Lake, so I just decided, because she's a curriculum director and does special ed there, so I would just go with her every day to school, and so did Myles, so did Tatum, so did Ben, and I just decided one day, like, hey, Mom, like, I live in Perrysburg, all my friends go to Perrysburg, I play sports in Perrysburg, like, it's time to just transfer.
Oh, good.
They were fine with it.
Sure, yeah. What about you, Brady? Do you have a memory or something you remember from like, sticks out for you?
Trevor Hafner for sure.
Yeah?
Just watching him when I'm younger, just all over the place. I remember him very vividly, and Then the winter watching him play basketball, and then spring watching him play baseball. So that's my big memory for sure.
I think I was a junior high coach when they went to the Final Four, and that was a lot of fun just because I was always on the sidelines. Coach Kriegel was he was a defensive coordinator when I was in high school, and so we have a really good relationship. And so I'd always just go, and whatever I could do on Friday night, I'd help him out.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I would just stand there. Or I think he always pointed at me and said that I was the get back coach. So and I still do that because it drives me crazy when you guys encroach on the field. But that was what I did, and that was an awesome season, and we've been lucky at Perrysburg to have a lot of really good seasons, and eventually we're going to win one of these things. And, I always think about because you guys are here for 4 years and then you're gone. And then you're like, oh man, we look at all these classes and, eventually when we win a state championship, we look at all these classes and like, oh, that one was good, but they didn't win. Or how do we win with this one? Or how didn't we win? Like there's so many different things you think of and, and everyone strives to be a part of that first one.
Yeah.
What do you think Brady? What's your favorite part about being on the football team?
I just love competing and being with the guys. I mean, it's such it's a good social experience too. Just such a positive time out there with everybody. People bringing you up, and it's just a great use of my time. And I love playing football and love being with the guys. So.
And you play basketball and baseball too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite sport?
Football.
Yeah.
He said it before you even asked the question. You didn't
I knew what he was going to ask.
What do you play in basketball?
I play small forward, so I'll play the 3. I'll play the 2 also. So.
Okay. So I've been coaching girls freshmen the past couple years.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a lot of fun. It's a new thing. I hadn't coached basketball in ever, besides little kids when they're on a 3-foot hoop. But it's a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys every once in a while and stuff, and it's I really enjoy it. And I don't know if it's what it. I mean, it's not going to be any more than just volunteer because I don't have time for anything else. But I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
What about baseball? What do you do in baseball?
I play center field.
Okay.
I can play I'll play infield sometimes too. I can pitch.
What do you think about Coach Hall?
I like him a lot actually. He's a great guy. Yeah.
Been there for 1,000 years.
40?
45. Something.
45.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we were when I was a senior. Our team went to the state Final Four, and I didn't play, but I had all my really good friends did, and it's so fun. And every time Perrysburg baseball gets close, it's I just want one for Coach Hall.
Yeah, I know.
Get one.
The thing this year is we were 4th in the NLL, and
I know
we just won when we needed to, and we made it. So.
And then was the last game just 1-0?
Yeah, 1-0. We needed 1 base hit. So, yeah.
I was following along, and I couldn't go to that game, but I was like, man, I think Mateo had baseball, so I couldn't go, and then I was like, man, found 0-0-0-0-0. I'm like, God.
Yeah, it was a pitcher battle.
Yeah, and then that team won the state title.
Did they?
By a lot.
They beat the other team.
Oh, really?
8-1, 9-1, something like that.
Dude, that's what stinks too. Is when Perrysburg went to the Final Four in 15, the team we lost to LaSalle, we knew whoever was going to win was going to to beat that other team, and they did. They smoked them.
Yeah,
it wasn't even close.
So if I just win that game,
I know. Yeah. All these what ifs. God dang. Did Coach and Trevor was a coach of yours too, right?
Yeah, he really helps out with hitting a lot, and he's great to have on the staff. It's awesome.
I gotta get him on a podcast. He had a good career too because I think he started at a JUCO and then ended up at OU. But I like talking to him. He's even when he was in high school. I think he was my first year coaching. I was a volunteer freshman coach, and he was a freshman. So that's when I met him. But he's a good dude. I like him. Josh, you're obviously a wrestler too.
Yep.
And I know you really love football. When do you have because you've been obviously you're a senior. Do you have a time where you're all right, now it's wrestling? Is it as soon as football's over? Or do you give yourself any time, any break or anything, or you just go right into it?
So last year I took about a couple of days off, but our wrestling coaches don't there's no time to take a week off. So
yeah,
it's more or less right when football ends. But I give myself a little second to adjust and get focused on wrestling, because if you're not 100% focused on it, you'll literally get beat up.
Yeah.
So right when football's done, it's straight in the wrestling.
Those coaches are pretty intense too.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, because it's kind of like Inside Run, but for 3 hours. It's kind of like that
good way to
level
put
of
it.
intensity.
Inside run. But at least in wrestling, you get beat up. We don't let you get beat up. And
Oh yeah, well, not for me. Yeah, the inside run for
Oh,
me
yeah.
is easy, but yeah. I just mean like the intensity of
Yeah.
like the situation.
are there times? I don't know enough about wrestling. I didn't wrestle. I never coached it or anything. Are there times when you're like, okay, we have a meet coming up, or we have this tournament or whatever? Like for football, we practice hard Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a lot of walkthrough Thursday, and then a game Friday. Is there something similar to wrestling where it's like all this really hard stuff, and then like the day before or whatever?
Oh
it's
yeah,
kinda-
yeah. So let's just say we have a tournament Friday, like that's when we're leaving. We'll practice really hard on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but like Thursday, like basically nothing. Like we show up, we'll do like stance in motion, so it's with no partner, like no one's touching you.
Yeah.
And then we'll play dodgeball, and
Okay.
then we'll stretch and we'll leave. The practice will be like 45 minutes.
Okay.
And I think our coach Scotty, he does that like by design. He's realized that that's what we need more to perform our best, not just to because other wrestling coaches will just hammer you down and
Sure.
do it for 4 days. But like Scotty's very strategic in how he does our practices and how he does our training because he's been around such great minds when it comes to that sport.
Do you guys watch film?
Yeah, a lot. Wrestling, not as much as football, but a lot. You know, because dudes have tendencies.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Is it mostly is it like 50-50, or is it mostly looking at somebody else or like your own technique?
Yeah, so it's about 50-50. You know, you watch yourself, but like you don't get too wrapped up in it. Wrestling's film is not as much as I do in football, but you know, there's a film aspect to it. You know, because there's certain techniques, ways you can do things better, and then other opponents have a lot of tendencies. Like there's some kids that literally they're really good, but they have 2 moves, and that's all they can do. And if you stop those 2 moves, then you kind of got the kid.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine you can get something from their opponents too, like, oh,
Yeah.
he got pinned, and this is how he got pinned.
Yeah,
Right?
and styles matter a lot. Like I have for wrestling, I'm super long and super like tall,
Yeah.
and I'm not like really like bulky and strong. But like dudes will lose to a guy that I beat that's super bulky and strong, and like it just like it matters sometimes like that. Like dudes will lose to a guy that I beat, but I lost to that guy, and it sometimes works out like that. So you keep that into a factor. Like, hey, this dude's super long and he wrestled this guy. This is how this super long guy beat this guy that's super bulky and strong.
Yeah.
And then it gets weird like that sometimes, but that's kind of why you watch it, to see tendencies, to see how this dude fails. And so you can kind of take advantage of that. And then you just look at yourself and like, same thing as every other sport. How can I get better? What did I do wrong? You know?
You know, the weirdest thing that never transferred to football was your brother. Like,
Yeah.
such a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But like all the stuff he would do for wrestling, it just wouldn't transfer. Like,
Yeah.
like he looks slow, or he
Right.
like, it's just like, what is how it. He's awkward.
Yeah. I
you
think
know?
if wrestling didn't exist, like if he just never wrestled, I think it would have translated more of his senior year.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those kids that would have been like, hey, you're not playing until your senior year. But his senior year, he does really well, helps the team out. You know, probably not an all-state kid, not on maybe all-league. Our league was bad then.
Yeah.
But then his senior year, he does really well.
Yeah.
So
That was one that really bummed me out when he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
It was good that he was still
Right,
there
yeah.
with Garrett, but like he was one of my favorite kids.
Yeah, and I think it was the right option for
Oh,
him.
yeah,
But no, because I was on the team then, and it kind of was like, oh, dude, like you could have been pretty good at tight end. Like you could have helped our team out because you would have been aggressive. He kind of grew into his body because he was like he wrestled 126 his sophomore year, so but he's so tall.
Yeah, yeah,
And he cut a lot of weight for that, and he was skinny and he was really good at wrestling, but like when you're talking about it translating on a football field, he was super unathletic.
Yeah.
His junior year, he really started to grow into his body. He wrestled 165 pounds. But at the same time, when you're talking about translating to a football field, you can't go from wrestling 126 and then wrestling 165
Yeah.
and expect that to like happen.
Yeah.
Then his senior year, he 165 to 175, he got a lot stronger, got a lot more coordinated, and it helped him a lot more on the wrestling mat because he became, top 4 kid in the country at his weight class.
Yeah.
But I think if he forget about wrestling and wore the try football, I think his senior year he would have been a lot better than what he could have than he ever was in football.
At the very least, he would have kept me laughing every day. So.
Yeah, at the very least, yeah.
Even if he's over there sitting the bench, I could.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about recruiting a little bit, just because you are at the end of it.
Yep.
And you were kind of at the beginning of it. So, Brady, we'll start with you. What, if any, has there been anything, or are you just going to camps and coaches like, hey, what's up?
There's been some. I have a really good relationship with Toledo.
Okay.
I went to their Friday Night Lights camp going into my freshman year, and I wasn't too developed then, so it was all right. So I built a relationship then, and then I went on a visit on a game day the fall of freshman year, and then I went back out to first was the scouting day. So the quarterback coach, Robert Wiener, he's a great guy. He was there watching me throw. Then I went back out to their camp, and he really likes what he's seeing, so we just have a good relationship, and he thinks they really could throw an offer to me if even he sees me just at corner or receiver, just based off potential-wise.
Sure,
but
yeah.
That's the mostly main amount of talking from schools I've gotten, camp invites and stuff, but I'm pretty close with Toledo already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have something in mind, or is everything just open right now?
Everything's open, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's also good to see that. I know why you're wearing Bucknell, but when I was in high school, me and my friends just wore whatever college.
Yeah,
we just have.
I saw this at TJ Maxx. I'm like, dude, I'll wear. Let's see, Ohio State, Oklahoma State. I have a sweet Oklahoma State long sleeve shirt, so the same as his brother has.
Yeah,
yeah. It's just cool to I don't know. Since I want to end up at a big college or go somewhere, it's just cool to represent one of those.
Sure.
Yeah.
We used to go to Stephen Barry's. It was this shop you could get a hoodie for $8 and t-shirts real cheap.
Yeah.
It's just all college stuff.
Yeah. It's
and
sweet.
eventually they went out of business. But so is your plan to play football in college, or do you want to do if other options are there, are you willing to look at as far as other sports are concerned?
Play football in college for sure. Yeah.
Because I know when Connor signed, or not signed, but he got an offer as a sophomore to play baseball.
Yeah, and he committed.
And then ended up, he's at UT now playing football. So it is wild to go through all that, but it's good to hear that you're just hey, whatever happens, I'll make my decision when I have to.
Yep.
Yeah. Josh, what about you? Where are you at, or what's your plan, or do you want to play college football, or?
So, I want to play college football for sure. I definitely want to play college football. And right now I have 2 offers. One to Thomas More, which is a full scholarship, and then Ohio Dominican. They haven't for sure said what, but they're talking about, possibly it being full, possibly it being 75%. So they're not 100% yet. I think they want to see more, but they've offered. And then I still have some really well relationships with some Division I AA's. Marist and Youngstown State are the 2 biggest ones that I have a really good relationship with. And then, to be honest, because of the transfer portal and how things work, it's not really the end for my recruiting process.
Sure.
We've kind of I'm not going to go to the MAC level out of high school. So that their process is kind of ending right now, and then my senior season is when the Division I AA and the D2 schools start really hard recruiting and offering. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what it looks like right now. I'm still super open, but I'm definitely gonna play football in college.
It was fun. I see you. I've seen you at different schools and you post your pictures and stuff. But that's what I really enjoyed. I enjoyed going to these visits and just. You feel special, and it's cool, and sometimes you get to bring friends with you, and all this stuff, and
right,
it's make sure both take advantage of all that stuff that you can, because it is cool, it is fun, it's again, it's a rare thing, not everyone gets to do that, and like I said, if you're hey, you can come and bring a couple friends with you or whatever.
I brought my family with me to the Toledo game, and then the coach is just whatever you need, I'm ready. I'm like, man, I'm just watching a football game,
just watching a football game. It's fun, man. It's cool to be able to do all that stuff.
Sweet.
Like I said, not everyone gets to. Did you get to go and talk to any of the players or anything? I don't know if you saw the other players.
Yeah, I talked to Connor and Grant a lot when I was there. Yeah.
Toledo's super cool with how they treat the recruits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went on a visit to a spring practice sophomore year, and they brought me in the quarterback huddle, and I met every player.
Oh, nice.
Free quarterback, and that was super cool.
I went there when I was the receivers coach. The coaches went there and like watched practice and stuff.
Right.
And I was in everything, and then I ended up in the most. It was a little awkward, but I was in the offensive coach's room, and everyone was chit chatting, music was playing, whatever. And then the head coach walks in, and like the music stops, everyone stops talking, and I'm like, "What is happening right now?"
Yeah.
But they were just watching the film. They watched the film on one kid. And they're like, "Hey, coach, someone said we need to look at this kid." And it was like 2 plays, and the coach was like, "What are we doing here? Like, why are we watching this kid?" One was like a kickoff return, and then something else. So I don't know who told him like, "Hey, watch this," but it'd be terrifying. He'd be like, "Coach, I see this kid," and then like, "Nah, you're good." I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just how they can be with recruits, man. They can just be like, "Nope," see one video or something, and just say bye.
Yeah, it's so crazy how it works because you have to be like, it's hard to make a highlight tape and make it so that like the coaches like it, and it is something that I've like had to ask for help on, and look things up, like how do I order this, like what plays do I put at the start, what plays do I put at the end, like what do they want to see, what do they not want to see. So it's crazy because like your best play of the year that you thought was your best play has not as good arm strength, or the accuracy isn't as good. So you have to understand what these coaches are looking at when you're making your film, so they don't turn it on and they're like, "Oh, his footwork sucked on this. Turn it off, next kid."
Yeah.
And who knows? They might have done that to me. I don't even know.
Yeah, the University of Findlay coach, he was saying like they only got like a minute of 50 seconds that they can watch because they're watching hundreds of kids a day.
Yeah.
If you have a 2-minute film, they're only watching the first 5 clips. So
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, you have to be really strategic with what clips you put and what a college would like to see.
Does Huddle make it pretty easy to make videos?
Yeah,
It's cool.
Yeah, Huddle's super easy.
Yeah.
You just do it right on the website.
Yeah, you click like a star, like on a play you want to have like highlighted as one of your highlights, and then you can mash them all up.
Man, that's I guess it's a good thing that you don't know. Like you don't know if they're
Yeah.
like, "Nope, bye, next,
Yeah.
next." You just send
Yeah.
them out.
Instant notification.
Yeah.
They looked at 20 seconds and they said no.
It's like Tinder.
Well,
swipe
on Huddle,
right.
you can see it for recruiters. Look at your thing.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
it doesn't tell you who. Well, it sometimes does, but it says like 2 days ago, 4 recruiters looked at your profile, and it's like,
Okay.
oh no, who is that?
Yeah, I wonder who.
It doesn't say for how long either.
No,
Because I know that's what I like to look at when
5 seconds. God.
when to see who's watching film on our team. You can see down to the second, like how
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know you could do that.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yeah, the coaches can see it.
you can see exactly how long people are watching film. Which whatever it is, to me it is rarely used as far as like, okay, Josh watched 4 minutes of film this week. Okay, it doesn't change the
Yeah.
fact that he's their starting quarterback. He just didn't watch film this week, and someone will say something to him,
Yeah.
right? Coach Connor. But some of these kids who are there could be kids in the past that have complained about not playing or whatever, and then one thing we can point to is like, all right, well, you have 0 film the past 3 weeks, and it's obvious you don't know what you're doing out there. So like,
Right.
this is an easy thing.
Oh,
We
kids
had-
in the past. You're talking about.
Oh, they just,
Hey,
sure, they just
we
turned
had
it on.
we had
He can
a
share.
specific kid on our freshman team, and our Coach Rogers and Coach Horn at the time were like, hey, dude, you have 48 hours of film you watch this week, like, and he had no clue what route he was running ever, and the coaches were just like, hey, like, come on, dude. Like,
He just turned it on and walked
yeah,
away.
he just put his Chromebook up, put the charger in it.
Overnight.
Oh my god.
Here soon you're gonna see it on Schoology. They're gonna make that on Schoology. Like, hey, the teacher's gonna be like, hey, dude, you studied for 2 minutes last night. No wonder you failed the test.
Yeah.
You have to let me know who that is. I want to know. Not now. You don't have to tell me now. But is he still playing?
He doesn't go
okay.
here. Doesn't go here.
Oh, he
anymore.
doesn't go here. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter, I guess. Because if he was still playing, I'd make fun of him when I saw him next. You guys mentioned school. How are you? Are you guys both good students? I would imagine. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3, 4, 8, something
Okay.
like that. But
3, 5.
Perrysburg's so hard to
Yeah?
get anything above a 3.5 because their grading system.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's
Yeah.
changing though. So.
Well,
That'll be good.
I won't get to see the change. He will.
So it makes it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
and
like.
An A, like just a regular A, is a 96 to 100, and then A minus.
Ours was like a 93 to 100.
Yeah, an A minus is a 92 to a 96 or whatever it is, and so this year it's the same. So my senior year will be the same.
Yeah.
The year that I'm going, a 90 to 100 is just a normal A.
Oh, really?
Flat
Yeah.
4.0.
Okay. All right.
So you could have a 90 over, like you could have 90% in every class. And if you're my age, you have a B plus average. If you're going to be his grade, you have an A.
Okay.
So some schools are different with that, and we make it hard.
Yeah.
But we're really good schools. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite subject?
Math.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You know what? I asked a lot of people, a lot of kids, and a lot of them were saying math, which is good because that's what you need to know. I do not like math, and I was terrible at it.
Yeah. I think I've just had great teachers.
Yeah?
Like I've had the Moravitzes all through high
okay.
school. I had Mr. Moravitz and Mrs. Moravitz and Mr. my junior year.
Okay. All right.
So they make math fun. They make it easy, and they're not too like hard about it. And it just became like my favorite subject.
Are you taking math this senior year?
Yeah.
What are you taking?
Whatever it is, trig, pre-calc, or whatever it is.
Ugh, gross. I took stats. You guys know Mr. Pullman? Ray Pullman.
Yeah.
He was my stats teacher. He was also a football coach.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
He runs every morning.
He's out, dude. He's
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. I'm like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's there more than I am.
He goes in the
He's-
bench presses too.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves everything. I mean, when I was in high school, my first 2 years, he was the head coach. Then he became athletic director. He would still help out Coach Kriegel, and obviously he's been the president of the schools and on the board, and he's Mr. Perrysburg. I mean, that's why the drive-in is Ray Pullman Way.
Yeah, we always have a funny story every year. Some kid on our team is like a sophomore or something, and they're like, "Who's this old guy running?" And we're like, "Hey, dude, like he has a street named after him. He is Perrysburg.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's more Perrysburg than anybody gets. Like, shut up, dude."
He is so fun to talk to. He's so nice. Yeah, he's a good dude. Brady, what about you? What subject do you like?
Government for sure.
Yeah?
I had Mr. D, so he made it amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like government more than like history, just like what's going on in today's world. So I'll
Okay.
take like street law in my junior year. I'll take that, but I like science too, but definitely not math for sure.
Yeah, no. I think Algebra 2 was the last math I took, and that was a miracle that I passed. So, Brady? Do you have any idea what you want to do when you get older?
Not really. I mean, I like the tech field, so like IT maybe somewhere around there, but I really haven't looked too far into it yet.
Josh?
I want to be a teacher and I want to coach.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's I think football is just something that I want to be around like this for forever. I don't know what level I want to coach. I don't know what that looks like yet, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to coach.
I know. I always thought like it'd be cool to be. I mean, I still think it'd be cool to be like a college football coach.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of time and a lot
Yeah.
of effort put into it, and most of those guys become like GAs
Right.
when they're done playing. But that's I can imagine the time that takes.
Yeah, it's
Those GAs spend like their whole day in the office. Like they'll sleep there. Like,
yeah.
I had a buddy who you guys know Kyler Murray.
Yep.
He went to Allen High School in Texas.
yeah.
Yep.
I had a buddy who coached there. He was a coach when Kyler Murray was there. And they have this like $80 million stadium, like
Yeah.
all this stuff. And he would tell me like the amount of time in high school that they would spend. And they had periods at the beginning of the day where it was just like your first period football.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
you did football.
The schools
stuff
in
or whatever.
Texas have that's crazy.
It's
The
wild.
weightlifting periods.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually talking about the other day. I was like, okay, so let's just say you go to Allen and your team loses in November in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and like your football season is done, but the semester's not up yet. You go to football class and sit there,
Oh.
like it is awkward. Like, hey, you senior, like, why'd you fumble on the 2-yard line? Like,
Blaming everybody.
the coach is all mad. Like, what happens?
That is a good point. I'm sure they turned the page, but you're right. What are those guys that aren't even going to play anymore?
Yeah.
They're just done.
Yeah. Or just like a senior that doesn't play every first period. He's like,
Yeah.
can I just study for my math test? Like,
Yeah, nerd, go in the corner,
Yeah.
please. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming out here. If I knew you were at Chase could have came out. But I'll get him on here at one point.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
It was
man.
awesome.
Thank you.
This is cool. Again, hopefully the videos ended up okay. Once I turn the camera on, I don't know what's gonna happen. So hopefully everything turned out okay. But I appreciate you guys coming out here. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys on the field and,
Yes,
and
sir.
seeing how well we do.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks again to my guests, Brady, Maxwell, and Josh Takats, for coming on the podcast today. It's great. It was great to hear about their relationship and how close they are, because you never know how that's going to be with two people who play the same position. But it sounds like they get along very well, and it's an ever-growing relationship. I mean, they just spent the night at one of the other friends' house last night. So it's good. It's good to see them, get along, and I look forward to watching them on the football field this year, whenever that begins. So as always, thanks to all of you for liking, sharing, subscribing, downloading this thing. Search us on YouTube to see this video, and if you're watching it, this is where you're watching it at, on YouTube. So thanks for that. Again, reach out at thenerdballpodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions, or if you want to be on the podcast, or any other comment. Search the Nerdball Podcast on all social media. And as always, thanks to Real JP Multimedia, Cuttlefish Graphics, Perrysburg Junior High STEM Lab, and Big Daddy Graphics for always helping out the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.